Throughout the years of me playing Warframe, Lavos has always been one of those frames that seem interesting in concept but has always fallen flat in real gameplay. When he first released back in the Heart of Deimos in Wait, what? Heart of Deimos released in 2020? That was 5 years ago.
Okay,
Holy
boomer.
fuck. Anyways, when he first released, I was busy doing other things, but I was also a huge Gauss main. Still am, by the way. I'm that addicted. Yes, I have a problem. If you know anything about Gauss, you know that he is one of the simplest Warframes to play. You just cast 4, cast 2, have almost 100 seconds of duration on each of those skills, cast 3 if you want to do AoE damage, and just refresh 2 and 4 whenever they're down. And I know I'm oversimplifying it, but it's basically his whole gameplay loop. I like it. It's simple, no fuss, no muss, that's it. Same thing with Rhino. You just cast Roar, you just cast your Iron Skin. If you want to do CC, you just cast your 4. Does CC even matter in 2025? I don't care anymore. But Lavos, oh baby, Lavos. He's a doozy to play. You gotta hold cast your 1, your 2, then cast the skill you want, and then over and over, rinse and repeat. And yes, I hear you. You can invert it in the settings to make it easier. It doesn't change the fact that he was very exhausting to play. So I left him in the storage, never to be used again. Until today, baby, we're putting so much form on this snaky boy so that we can make the most generic Lavos build in the entire game. Let's go through Lavos' kit first. Lavos is the only Warframe as of now that doesn't use energy. He completely replaces it with cooldowns. Every ability has its own cooldown timer, and every time you get an energy orb, you get 10 seconds of status immunity. That means you're immune to knockdowns. That's his passive. For his 1, it's a short range snake strike that deals toxin damage in a cone. If it hits enemies, it heals Lavos for a portion of the damage dealt. It's both offense and sustain. For his 2 vial rush, it's just a charge forward, scattering elemental vials around the ground. These vials deal damage and apply status effects to any enemies they touch. His 3 is very fun. He sends out these slow moving probes that deal elemental damage over time in an area. Each enemy hit by the probe reduces Lavos' cooldowns, letting you cycle abilities faster. His ultimate ability, he drops multiple probes that explode on contact with enemies. Each enemy affected by the elemental statuses take bonus damage, and the more status effects they have, the higher the multiplier. Now you're gonna ask, what status effects does he do then? He can do any status effect with his imbuing system. This is a core mechanic of Lavos that I have the most gripe with. Before casting an ability, you can infuse it with an element by holding the corresponding elemental button. 1 for cold, 2 for heat, 3 for toxin, 4 for electricity. You could combine it with other elements to access the secondary types like viral, radiation, corrosive, etc. This lets you control exactly what status effects your abilities will apply. Now that we know the abilities, let's see what are the good mods for him.
One eternity later.
Okay, it took me a few weeks. It was an exhausting few weeks, but we're finally done with deciding on which Lavos build I use for this video. Mostly because I've been very busy in real life. Here is the build I decided on. If you want to copy it, just pause the video right here. But I'm gonna go deeper into it with the explanations right now. Let's go one by one. I went for Arcane Bellicose and Arcane Grace for the Arcanes because, as you can see from this setup right now, it's gonna be a health tanking kind of build here. And for Arcane Grace, you could probably use a better Arcane here, but I just really wanted the health damage thing for health regeneration. There's probably better Arcanes out there, but I decided to use this build because throughout my playing of Lavos this past few weeks, I realized that he's a very generalistic frame. He's not the best in any type of situation, but you could arguably bring him on any type of mission and he'll still do good. So I was like, okay, might as well just make the most generalistic build out there so that you could just bring him anywhere. Exterminates, defenses, rescues. I'd argue even fast missions, captures and stuff. You could use this build very comfortably. For Aura, I pick Corrosive Projection because I have a tendency to use Corrosive as my go-to element when spamming abilities. That's one thing I also realized when playing Lavos. He's very ability spam reliant compared to the usual suspects I play. More ability range is always good. Universal orbs count as energy orbs, so your passive for status immunity and knockdown immunity is almost never down when you have a lot of range. We have the 3 Umbral, Intensify, Fiber, and Vitality mods here. Now, why did I go for Umbral mods, man? It's mostly because of the upcoming Tau update, but it's also because I had an Umbral Forma lying around. Wait, did I even talk about how much Forma it took? It took us 5 Forma for this, so it's not that expensive, but with 1 Umbral Forma as a mandatory thing, because look at our capacity, we're literally 1 out of 74. You need to put the Umbral Forma if you want to copy this build. It's not cheap either. Time continuity for more duration, stretch for more range, and 2 of the best augments that Lavos has. Swift Bite, and with the range that we have, 19 meters in a cone in your front is a lot of space. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get 4 enemies at least, and with the additional ability range, that's like, bro, the range is like super big. Now, Valence Formation, you never see a Lavos build without this mod. It makes it so that casting an ability imbued with elemental damage applies that element as a 200% bonus to your weapons. It makes your weapon stronger. That's basically easy play it. If you don't have this on while you're playing Lavos, you're doing something wrong. And last but not the least, of course, adaptation. We could probably use another mod here. You could put, I don't know, rolling guard if you want. But since we're doing health tanking, I figured extra damage resistance would be good.
Now, there are a lot of weapons that could. Another thing I realized after playing Lavos for a few weeks now is that he's a very versatile frame. You don't have a set rotation that you need to do. You could do whatever. You could even like mess up a lot of skills, but because of the bite thing that you have almost infinite abilities. The cooldowns are basically negligible. I often even see myself not using guns at all since the cooldowns are super low. I mean, look at this. By the time some of your abilities are down in cooldown, you could cast the other abilities again. Yeah, it's a very fun type of playstyle, but it's also very exhausting still, even with all of the quality of life stuff, because you're gonna be cycling through abilities. And don't get me wrong, some people absolutely love doing that. They find joy in smashing buttons, and sometimes I have the itch to do that as well. Should we show off the healing? Yeah, let's show off the healing right here. Survivability is what I meant. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Reposition with your 2. And then, oh god, they're all frozen. They can't even attack me. Let them attack me. Okay, I'm gonna go 1. I'm healed already. Look at that. Majority of your survivability is gonna come from 1 and from 2, from freezing the enemies. You might be saying, oh, that's too easy. Spawn an Eximus and we'll see what happens. Okay. Keep in mind, we're not even doing the gimmick thing of putting your, putting your elements and holding down the special button. We're just spamming abilities right now with their base form. If you really want to get into it, especially in this type of group of enemies, you're gonna go corrosive, you're gonna go blast, you're gonna spam blast abilities over and over again. If I'm gonna be realistic here, most of the time I don't even do that. Is it optimal? No. Is it better if I just use my gun? Probably. But this is very fun as well. And I definitely see the appeal of people loving Lavos, especially for his Valence formation. I mean, look at this. Look at the buffs that he's giving to us right now. Did we even go to less than 1000 HP in that whole fight? Sure, we didn't one-shot the whole pack, but survivability wise, we weren't even close to dying there. Such a unique warframe that I'm very happy that I finally dove into it and accepted the requests to look into him more specifically in terms of building. Will I play him more in the future? Probably not. I'm gonna be sticking to my Gauss and Rhinos still, but I definitely see the appeal now. And there may be a few afternoons where I'm like, okay, I just want to spam abilities. I'm gonna pick up Lavos. Okay, that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick video. I'm trying to get back into the groove of making Warframe videos, so comment down below which type of video of Warframe you want me to make next. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.